Turning retail data into daily behaviors. We have so many dashboards. What should we be looking at? How do I make sense of all of that? Those are the kind of things that your manager is looking for, and you're looking for the answers to them too. So let's jump into that right now. You know, I was reading a New York Times article that showed the average manager had 9 to 11 apps on their phones, and that's just for business. That doesn't include Facebook or Reddit or Substack or any of the other ones. It's just business. And you think about that, well, what do they look at? Oh, they have dashboards. How many people walked in, conversion rate. They have it for particularly tasks. They have the scheduling. They have notifications from employees. They have Slack channels, and they wear a headset, right? So they've got all of this, and the problem is that that's a lot of information to bring in, especially a manager these days, because they're like traffic cop or airline controller trying to make sure the planes all land right. And that's a distraction, because what you really want to be out is on the floor. And they've also got to be at that, we'll stay with the plane analogy. I want to be at 30,000 feet. I want them to look down on the retail store and be able to say like, oh, these people have been waiting too long. I think we got 3 people in the fitting room. We've got a shipment out back, and we've got to restock the front table. That's all got to be top of mind, but it's not something that they're loaded with data for, because especially if it's on their phone, it might have notifications enabled along with their own personal notifications, and they're constantly being at the service of AI, because although algorithms are saying notify, 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 and it's overwhelming. And so what I suggest, one is turn off notifications, but number 2, what really matters is behaviors. So instead of focusing on dashboards and looking in the past, are you training your crew to look what's going on as they walk out the door? How many people are walking out with your logoed bags? If they aren't many, then there's your conversion rate. You don't need a dashboard to tell you that, like, holy crap, what's going on? And you don't need to like light your hair on fire, what's going on? But you should be taking an interest. That means I've got to work more with my crew and see what's going on. So walking around and listening to the conversation they're having, listening to how they initiate a conversation, listening to if they can close the sale or not, because it's easy to hide, both for the manager in the back, I'm looking at reports, right, doing printouts, reporting they did this, we did that. A lot of retailers now expect employees to go, fix this merchandise, take a picture, and then send it in to prove you did it, like some nagging aunt. And we are now the rats serving the AI cheese versus the manager who is running the ship. That's what my point is. And so the crews need to understand how their behaviors impact those dashboards, and not just, oh, we did great or we didn't do great. They need to say, well, if a customer is not our priority, then that means they're probably going to leave empty-handed. So what's happening? Working with them. Maybe you're folding something, maybe you're changing something, maybe you're sweeping something, it doesn't matter. And someone comes in your eye view, you can see them. What are they supposed to do? Drop everything? Are they supposed to take note of it? But that's what your managers should be good at, is teaching that 30,000 view, because then it builds your bench to help them understand this is how a retail store works, instead of hanging out behind the registers and waiting for someone to change it. And when that happens, you're building the bench and you're making people feel like, oh, I understand how this game is played. That's really it. So it's not a big mystery. I just think the important thing to say is that dashboards have their place, but they are not nearly as important as your managers looking at the actual behaviors in real time on your sales floor. And when you teach that, which is look at the bags going out the front door, look at how many people are behind the counter, look at how satisfied customers are. And I've said this on some of my other videos, which you can find below, and make sure you subscribe before I forget. Is there any laughter? I don't teach laughter in my retail sales training program. I teach the framework of how to greet a customer, develop rapport, be able to describe the benefits, not the features, and to be able to close the sale and add on. I teach all that. But the only way that laughter happens is not through a dashboard. It's through a customer feeling that they're working with a confident human being, not someone who's brain dead. Can I help you find something? I'll be right over here. But someone who's engaged in their life. Oh, you just moved the neighborhood, how exciting. And they can add a spark of joy to that conversation. Without it, we're pretty much left with, let's make a deal. This is on sale for 20% off. If you get our loyalty card, you get an extra 5%. It's only for 3 days, and you need to sign up online, whatever. Nobody wants to work in that environment. We all want to have fun, and fun is what helps training stick. So I've talked about other videos about my training. They're all over here, you could tell. I have an offer down below if you want to go through and spend 15 minutes with me. Your store does over $1 million a year. We can come up with a strategy, what's going on, what could do better, maybe working with me, maybe using my online training program, SalesRX. And if you're under $1 million, consider checking out my other videos and my 3 or 4 books and following me on social. So Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those as well. Just remember that dashboards don't create behavior, people do. And people sell to people who come into a brick and mortar store, not an algorithm. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Let's get to it.